Hey guys, and welcome back. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know who I am and that I've been MIA for a little bit. I've been busy with real estate and with our recent move, which actually prompts today's video. For those that are new to the channel, I'm Trish Rodriguez with Higher Elevations Real Estate, local Georgia real estate agent with eXp Realty. I talk all about the North Georgia mountains, places to see, things to do, and where to live. In today's video, I am joined by my husband, Mark.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks for having me. I can't wait to be on your show.
In today's video, I'm joined by my husband, Mark.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks for having me be a part of this video. I look forward to giving good feedback.
So today we are going to give an honest review and overall experience with our build with Brown Haven Homes. Before we get started, I do want to say that this is in no way, shape, or form affiliated with Brown Haven or sponsored by Brown Haven. We are just simply giving our personal experience. I have so many of you guys that reach out wanting to purchase land that you would eventually like to build your future home on. So I figured this would be a great opportunity for us to get together and talk about our building experience and what it has been like specifically with Brown Haven, and just to give you some general guidelines to look for. Before we chose Brown Haven, we did speak to a few different builders and ultimately decided on Brown Haven because of a few different reasons. Some of that being price, some of it being the overall process and how detailed and informative they were, and also had to do a little bit with the financing that they offered.
You start talking, I jump in when I feel it.
So
I gotta feel it.
You can. Part of the process with Brown Haven was to sit down in their sales center with one of their salespeople and go over the general process that they have and the floor plans that they offer. And we were looking at probably 2 or 3 different floor plans and ultimately decided on one specific one. But while we were trying to decide on those 2 or 3 different floor plans, we were able to go and look at some of the houses that they had in other neighborhoods that they had already built. They have an ambassador program which allows previous owners to be able to bring new potential homeowners into the home to be able to see what it is that that you're getting in terms of quality, the build, and also the specific floor plan that you're interested in.
Let's back it up a little bit. So when we first started, we tried researching different builders, right? And so when we did that, we came across Brown Haven. We looked on their website, and from the get-go, Brown Haven's interaction with their tool online is very, very well established. So when she's referring to the 2 or 3 or 4 floor plans that we had already situated ourselves on, it's because we had actually did our homework ahead of time. We went online, we looked at the different floor plans that they offered. They're broken down into the different bedroom and bathroom categories, so ultimately we picked what would fit us best. And so based off of that, that's why we narrowed down to those 2 or 3 floor plans. The tool is, again, very interactive. You can start everything all the way up from the floor plan, the outside elevation, all the way to the inside final details. So with that being said, the interactive tool is very engaging. It is very interactive. And so that is always a good recommendation to start off there if you're going to look at Brown Haven as a potential option. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for you.
Yes. As an example, the floor plan that we ultimately chose was originally a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch floor plan, and we played around on the website with different options within that floor plan. We extended the deck to see what that might look like, to see what that might kind of cost us. We also decided in the interactive floor plan online that we wanted to see what it looked like to have a basement in the floor plan instead of it being just a ranch floor plan. So through that interactive floor plan, we were able to see how they took a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch and turned it into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on the main floor, and then we were able to finish out the basement and see what that might cost us as well on the website. So it was all very, very interactive and very informative in terms of pricing as well.
Right, with pricing, that's important, because while it is not nailed down to the penny, it is giving an estimate, so it at least gives you an overall idea what it potentially could look like as a ballpark figure.
So then after we ultimately had gone to several different ambassador program, either it was homes that they were currently building, or it was homes of previous or owners that had previously built, and we were able to take a look at their floor plan and see how it looked in person, because your brain can only allow you to imagine so much. Sometimes you really need to be able to see it in person to know if it's the floor plan for you. So after we looked at a few different of those and ultimately decided on our floor plan, then we started with the whole process with Brown Haven in turning in our deposit, and then that got us on the calendar. So we were able to actually, I think we put down our deposit sometime like August, September timeframe, and so we were on their calendar for November.
So we put our deposit down towards the middle into summer, end of August, possibly maybe a little bit into September. So based off of that, they were able to put us on the calendar and give us a definitive break ground start date, which was towards the end of December, because at that point in time they were overbooked for their annual schedule. So again, this is where doing your homework really pays off, because again, we knew exactly what we wanted to the final color, because we were so engaged in the interactive tool that when we went and had our face-to-face where we were solidifying meeting the planners and meeting the team, after we had our site inspection, all of that, because we were so prepared, our breakdown date actually got pushed up the calendar even sooner. So we found ourselves into December to start, we found ourselves beginning of December, then it went into November, and then it went into end of November, and then to the middle of November. So in that time frame, we essentially got bumped up into the schedule 15 to 30 days sooner because of being prepared.
And to kind of go back a little bit, after we turned in our deposit and we chose the official floor plan that we wanted, then it was time for us to come out and do the site evaluation, which you just kind of mentioned. So we actually met out on the property that we had already purchased, or that we were in the process of purchasing, met with the entire Brown Haven, an entire team of people basically, along with the grader. So we were able to speak with the grader and some of the on-site staff for Brown Haven to determine what the proper placement was for the home on the lot that we had chosen. We were trying to, we were lucky enough to get a little bit of a view, so we were trying to maximize our view. We were also trying to maximize the lay of the land for the fact that we were doing a basement. I went into it thinking, oh, I want to turn the house, kind of this way. I want it to sit a little catty corner. And when we got out here with the grader basically told us, well, we can do anything that you want to do, but it's going to cost you, because the lay of the land actually makes more sense for the back of the house to be faced this way versus this way. And if you decide to do it this way, you're going to end up with a 9-foot retaining wall on this side of the house. And so ultimately I said, well, we're okay. We can place it however we need to, because I'm not interested in having a retaining wall. I'm not interested in spending any extra money that I don't need to spend. And ultimately we were able to place the house for the best lay of the land, and also to maximize the view that we had. And the grader, along with Brown Haven, the staff were able to walk us through that and help us, figure out what that looked like.
They're very, very knowledgeable in that aspect. And to wrap up the site eval conversation, you have to keep an open mind when you are talking about the pricing. I mean, it is going to be expensive no matter way you look at it. If you're doing minimal grading, or maximum grading, it is going to be expensive no matter what. So if you have any preconceived notions of a price that you think it's going to be, you could have the flattest land on God's green earth that has ever been, and it's going to be expensive. So you just need to get any kind of preconceived notions out of your head and just be open-minded to hear what you're going to hear, and just run with it. If I'm not mistaken, the grading costs, they do present you a quote at the time of site eval, so you do have that to consider. They will ultimately add that cost into the overall price of the home, and that when you go back to the office to kind of do the final run through of things that you've chosen as far as options as well as the site eval, then you're going to see that bottom total price in regards to the home purchase.
And so once you've chosen your floor plan, you've done your site evaluation, you know not only the cost of the floor plan and the things that you're doing as far as the structure is concerned, whether or not you're adding a basement, whether or not you want to add additional footage to, square footage to your porch, whether or not you're going to add additional footage to your garage, which we had to do because of the placement of the garage. So, you're going to have all of those things wrapped into one, and that's going to be, I'm not going to call it your final price, but that's going to be kind of your pre-final price, because your final price actually comes after you've done your selections for the interior of the home. So that would include any upgrades that you would like to do. If you want to tile backsplash on your, in your kitchen, if you want to do painted cabinets everywhere instead of stained cabinets, things like that are going to be additional upgrades, and you're going to have an opportunity after you go under contract and you've done all of those preliminary steps, then you end up sitting down. You have a, what do they call it, like a pre-appointment for selections, where you get kind of it's like a 1 hour appointment where you get like an overview of...
It's an intro to what to expect in the actual selections. So let's fast track to the selections real quick. So we've had the hour interview. We are now scheduling our, I believe, 4 hour. So you need to plan half a day to go in and do the selections. But again...
Or to do them online, because they do them by Zoom call as well if you're unavailable to be in person.
But again, this is where your due diligence comes into play, because it is, they will tell you up front before the meeting that you have a 4 hour slot. Anything over 4 hours, you're going to get charged about, I don't know, $50, $100 an hour over additional. And from what we were told, we were one of the quickest that had gone through that selections process, and we were still in there for about 3 hours. And she also told us that there were people in there that were unprepared, and they were in there for 5 or 6 hours. So again, due diligence is key. Be prepared, know exactly what you want so you can get in and knock it out.
Yes, because ultimately the selection process is literally everything from the exterior of the home, the color that you want, the trim color that you want, the stone that you might like to have, all of the finishes on the inside, the paint color on the walls, the paint color on the ceilings, the flooring that you want, the cabinet colors, the cabinet stains, the countertops, everything.
So again,
literally everything.
Just be prepared so that you can make the best choice that you want to see fit for the home that you desire.
Yes.
So just a couple more things, because I don't want to spend too much time here. I want to transition into more of the customer service aspect and the one-on-one with our project manager and communication and things of that nature. So I give to you the same advice that we were given during the selections, is that go in at every single thing that you want to your heart's content, because it is always easier to go back and remove things, because this is not going to be the final. They're going to do it on that final tally, and then you're going to see everything that you added, and then you're going to see that final price, and then you're going to have price a heart attack like we did, and we quickly started canceling things off because
we had a big huge wish list, which got down to from here to here.
it got cut to the quick pretty quick. They have lots of options, things to choose from, different color choices that you'd like. So add everything in. They've got lots of good base options. In all honesty, I wish there were more base options for my preference, because I know when I'm choosing between base grade and then for what I feel like is one step above base grade, and that's all the included options, I just don't feel like I want to be up priced for every single thing. So that's just my preference. But
Yeah.
So yeah, so just be prepared. So the next thing, to me, the biggest thing is the communication, right? From the get-go, from the time that you sign and agree to move forward with the build process, they make it very clear that communication is key. During our transition, we had a couple of different project managers, unrelated to things that were for us. It was things that they were working on inside the company. In building totality, both project managers were very communicative. This is probably our third house that we've had built over the course of our marriage, and this is the most involved build that we've had, I'll say that. From the time of start building, the communication has always been top notch. I've never at any point during the several months that we built left a day questioning or a week questioning, well, I haven't heard from so-and-so, what's going on.
Right.
They are on top of it, and they are communicating the absolute best, in my opinion, and being very forthcoming with what's occurring, and along with providing pictures and always step-to-step up-to-dates.
Yeah. After you do the selection process and you actually, they give you your wish list total and you have that heart attack, and then you decide the things that you want to take off, then you will have a final pre-construction meeting where you go over in detail everything that you've chosen to make sure that the final selections that you made are the ones that you want to stick with, and then they go over kind of the whole process, what that's going to look like from start to finish. Now, after you've had that pre-construction meeting, there are no more changes. You cannot then decide that you want to change your countertops later on. You cannot then decide that you want to add 3 feet to this wall in here, or take 3 feet out, or whatever. It's final. I think ultimately in the end it ends up being a good thing, because it keeps you on time with your timeline, and it keeps you on budget, because let's face it, if you do a lot of change orders during a custom home project, those change orders are going to be the thing that tallies up the extra cost very, very quickly. So after you've had that final selection and that pre-construction meeting, then you actually get officially on the calendar to start breaking ground. So we broke ground the end of November, I believe, is when they actually started the whole process. And then we had some time lapse between that and when they could actually come out to kind of finish some things to be able to really, really start the build. So there was probably about a month in between the initial groundbreaking and us getting started on our actual build. And then once they got started on the actual build, we felt like it really flew.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to have to get, being where we are, we have to get specific permits issued by the state.
Yes.
So that was a little bit of the time, but yeah, once ground had been broken, first grading had been done. Mm-hmm. They were prepared to come in to start pouring foundation, and then once that was done and ready to rock and roll, framing hit like a ton of bricks, and then it was gone like wildfire.
Yeah.
So I know
we were having heart palpitations.
Yeah, because we had a home to sell, and we asked when would be the best time, knowing that the market was moving fast, and I think the recommendation was about once they hit framing is about when you should start to list. And so that's what we did, and our home didn't go as fast as we wanted, but ultimately in the end,
it all worked out.
It all worked out, and we're done.
Yeah. So God handled it.
So, we over the course, I think they tell you during one of the meetings just to plan or budget about a 7, 8, 9 month build. I think ultimately ours was roughly 6 months, something like that, and I think that is because that's a fast build. I mean, we've had faster just because of the time of year. They might have hit a little bit of a lull, and so they were able to tackle more subcontractors onto the build than what they normally would. So that was another reason why some of the things kind of moved along a little bit quicker than anticipated.
And then, going back to the whole process and the communication that they have, again, their communication is top notch. You will get constant updates. Anytime something new is happening in the house, we were hearing from our project manager by text message, by phone call. We were also getting, like Mark mentioned, the photos. They do photos. So if you are out of town while this build is taking place, rest assured you will have constant communication and you will see photos of everything that's happening on the ground without you being here.
Right.
So I found that to be super helpful. Of course, we were right around the corner, so
we
were constantly
locally
over here looking. So
you know, and we catch things. We caught a few different things during the process, and we were told up front if we catch something, let them know, because
Yes.
it might be something that they overlooked, and it might be something that we saved their butts on for
Right.
the timeline or the budget or something like that. So, you know, we found things, and we did not blow up our manager's phone with all these daily things that we found. All right, we want to let people have the ability to do their job. That's what they're being paid for.
Right.
There was times that we found things and we brought it their attention, but you know what? We
They
had a
were
list of
already
things
aware of
and
it.
they were already on top of it. So it's like we literally were told, yep, we are no worried about that, and I've already got this, and this already taken care of. So again, that communication is key, and they are always on top of it.
So we got to the, towards the end of the build, and we were starting to stress about our house selling. And they kind of walked us through what that looks like, and ultimately, like we said, we were able to work it out. We were able to do basically a double closing. We closed on the old house the same day as the new house, and we were able to move in right away. So we really did not have any issues. I think that was first of all a God thing, and second of all, doesn't normally happen that way for it to be that seamless. And there was some headache and frustration and worry involved through that process, but it all worked out. And like I said, Brown Haven was very good working with us and trying to make it happen as well. So I do feel like they jumped some hurdles to be able to get us in here as quickly as they did. And I would say overall that we had a really good experience.
Yeah, I would agree. It's thumbs up guy approved.
Thumbs up guy. Yes.
So all that to say, would I use them again? The answer is yes.
Yes.
I mean, we've told them up front during the process that the way that things have been handled in our experiences that I wouldn't hesitate at using them again.
Right.
So yeah,
their entire process is very streamlined.
Very professional.
Yes, they have it down to a science. So it really makes the process very easy, in my opinion. And also, there's no surprise bills at the end, because with that whole process and the selections and everything that you have to do up front, when you walk away from that final selection meeting, what your bottom line is going to be, and you do not get a surprise bill at the end because things have changed, because things don't change. So your timeline stays on track and your cost stay on track, and those are probably the two biggest things that can be blown completely out of water when you are building a home, and they do it phenomenally.
So that's our experience.
Okay.
Nothing else to add.
All right.
As always, if you got any questions, please reach out.
Yes.
To Trish over here.
Put a comment down below.
Yep.
And again, as always, if you are looking to buy or sell real estate in North Georgia, you got to reach out. I am a phone call, a text message, or an email away.
Even smoke signals.
You just got to reach out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.